Well, we had a great event today here at the Colorado Springs Airport. We were dedicating the World War II U.S.S. Arizona a museum exhibit to the Colorado Springs Airport. And of course, the key to the exhibit is to honor one of our local hometown heroes, Mr. Don Stratton. And Mr. Stratton was on the U.S.S. Arizona during the Pearl Harbor attack, suffered with 65% of his body had burns, recovered in a Navy hospital, and then went back to serve in the Navy and served in several major military events in the end of World War II, like the Battle of Leyte Gulf.
It was Bob Lally who mentioned we're forming a committee to honor Mr. Stratton. We're going to receive this relic from this salvage piece of the Arizona from the U.S. Navy, and it's our intent to do something suitable and dignified with that. And immediately the light came on. I said, well, this is my wheelhouse. You know, this is what I'm put on the planet to do. We wanted to make it multi-generational. We wanted the exposure. And in fact, one of the caveats to the gift from the Navy in the form of that relic, that salvaged piece of the Arizona, was that it be used for educational purposes. So we looked at this multi-generational educational effort, and how best could we represent that, and then where would it reside that it could best meet that mission.
There's so many people in the United States that have served, but when you actually get to meet somebody that was a piece of World War II history, that was a part of that, Don Stratton being on the U.S.S. Arizona during the Pearl Harbor attack, to me it's amazing that I actually get to meet somebody like that. His wife mentioned to me today, Velma. She is so grateful that they moved here, and she thinks the Colorado Springs, El Paso County community is the best place they ever could have moved because of what we're doing to honor them.
You know, if we forget the sacrifice of that day, you know, woe to us. I mean, where do we go from here? We are a rudderless ship if we cannot connect back and understand the people that have made that investment in this country.
Hey, good afternoon. And welcome to the Don Stratton U.S. Arizona exhibit commissioning ceremony. And I'm Bob Lally, and this year's Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee Chair. Thank you for joining us for this special day as we recognize Don Stratton and his family who have dedicated their lives to the service of our country, and as we memorialize locally for all generations to never forget December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor, bombing, the sinking of the U.S.S. Arizona battleship, the loss of 1,177 men in the beginning of World War II. Today we pay special tribute to our Pikes Peak hero, Donald G. Stratton, and to his beautiful wife of 69 years as of yesterday, Velma. At this time, Boy Scout Troop 777 will present Hawaiian leis to Don and Velma in honor of Pearl Harbor and the men of the U.S.S. Arizona. There are only 5 remaining survivors who were on board U.S.S. Arizona on December 7th, 1941. 5. Thank you, Don and Velma, for your steadfast service to our great nation. We were close, Randy. Well, about 48 hours ago, we thought we were going to have Lou Conter and Ken Potts with us. Ken's 98 with his wife. They're going to drive from Salt Lake City. And Lou was going to fly in with his pilot out of Sacramento, but I think 48 hours ago, they said, hey, you can't quite make it. So we almost had 3 of the 5 survivors with us here in Colorado Springs. So pretty special, pretty special. And we want to recognize the Stratton and extended family. Thank you for joining us today from across our great nation. I believe I counted 20, counting the George family, which you guys are totally integrated. And here we are, so thank you. 4 generations, 4 generations. I was thinking we might have 5 with these young men, but we may or may not, but definitely have 4. So my question to the Stratton family, who came the longest distance today? Is that Joanne, George, and Gary out of Arkansas? Out of Arkansas, right? So you guys flew in California. In California. That's great. So please stand and be recognized. and to the Joe George family. Joe George, and a story that some of us know, but we need to outline this and why the George family and Stratton family are one. Joe George was a sailor who rescued Don and 5 other crewmen off the U.S.S. Arizona when it was engulfed in flames and sinking. Joe saved their lives. 76 years after Pearl Harbor, with Senator Cory Gardner's help, Joe was finally awarded, through Don's persistence, was awarded a Medal of Valor posthumously, the Bronze Star with a Valor, Bronze Star V, and it's on our plasma panel here, and it was given to him by the President December 7th, 2017. So thanks to the great efforts, and there's a reason why we're doing what we're doing today, because of your dad. Yes, sir. So thank you. At this time, Boy Scout Troop 777 and Commissioner Stan Vanderwerth will present Mrs. Taylor a special remembrance of today's exhibit commissioning, a shadow box. Inside the shadow box contains a glass vial with fragments of the U.S.S. Arizona gifted to us by the U.S. Navy, accompanied by a certificate of authenticity and a letter of description from the U.S. Navy. So, please. Thanks, Dan. The Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee is proud to know and support the Stratton family, offering advocacy and reinforcing our community's culture of recognizing our heroes who live amongst us. They always say, and where's Tom Roeder, but you don't bury the lead. So the museum quality exhibit we are commissioning today includes meticulously researched and documented historical visuals, narrative, videos, and interactive digital displays. Remastered footage of the Pearl Harbor attack and aftermath, personal interviews with Don Stratton and other Pearl Harbor survivors, historical speeches, a comprehensive database and biography of every one of the 1,512 sailors assigned to the U.S.S. Arizona on December 7, 1941. Display of militaria impactfully telling Don Stratton's story, including a period uniform on medals on that side of the exhibit. Unique features of this impactful and compelling educational exhibit includes a 4-foot by 3-foot by 18-inch salvage piece of the U.S.S. Arizona superstructure donated by the U.S. Navy from Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. We have with us today Randy Condit and his T-Bow reps, both companies from Colorado, who designed and manufactured this exhibit. So Randy, I see you in the back there, and Katie, thank you so much, and to your team, great job, great job. The exhibit also features a U.S.S. Arizona model on the backside, created by Sonny Sao, a Colorado Springs resident. Thank you, Sonny, for your great, great work. And the bottom line for us is that we have here at our airport a world-class exhibit. And in my humble opinion, a national treasure for current and future generations to never forget the history and the sacrifices of so many. So before we go on, I'd like to recognize our distinguished guests today. So please hold your applause to the end. And on the dais with me, we have Don and Velma Stratton, U.S. Senator Cory Gardner, Vice Admiral Tom Moore, came out of Washington, D.C., and he's got a flight here in about 2 hours, so big Navy's with us, which is exciting. Honorable John Suthers, our mayor, our great mayor, and his wife, Janet. Greg Phillips, our executive director. El Paso County Commissioner and a fellow committee member, Stan Vanderwerth. I'm not sure if I saw Betsy or not, but okay. And obviously Chaplain Colonel Kelly Moore, our command chaplain at NORAD, U.S. Northern Command. And Mark Seglem, our Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee, and I did see Ann out there as well. In the audience, some of our elected officials. From the Lamborn's office, I saw Marcus Brubaker and Casey Sebastian, I believe. And from El Paso County Board of Commissioners, Mark Waller, Lejinos Gonzalez, Cammie Bremer, Holly Williams. And from City Council, from Colorado City Council, I saw Tom Strand and Annie Pico, and I saw Shannon with Tom as well. And I'm not sure if I saw the city of Fountain, but I know we have a great relationship. But Shannon Thompson was supposed to RSVP. If she's here, that's great. So And again, anybody I missed, but please welcome. And our senior militaries, again, please hold your applause to the end. We have, I believe, Colonel Todd Moore from the 21st Space Wing. We have Major General retired Tony Presbylaski with us. The U.S. Northern Command has a contingent of a variety of Navy. We have a Navy element out there, by the way. So they're out here, and then I know the Air Force Academy brought some representatives as well, so it's great to have. And the other military leaders today, so welcome along. And to some of our civic leaders, I know Jeff Green was trying to make it our Chief of Staff, but that'd be great. Senator Bernie Herpin, Bernie, good to see you. Dirk Draper, our CEO out of our Chamber of Commerce. And I don't know if the Chief of Police, our new Chief of Police, is it Vince Niski? Vince, good to see you. Awesome. And I see Jeff back there too. Great, Jeff, good to have you. Steve Dent, Fox 21. Steve, great, welcome. The Airport Advisory Committee is with us as well. They're having a big meeting, I think right after the ceremony, right, Stan? So yeah, so I know Greg's hosting that. So welcome, everybody. And to my fellow Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee who have tirelessly volunteered, volunteer is the operative word here, their time and expertise over the last 17 months to make this exhibit happen. So please stand and be recognized. Lisa Bachman, Mary Beth Burican, Andy Kane, Will Clark, Matt Coleman, Bill Lynn, Bill Nelson, Greg Phillips, Mark Seglum, Randy Stratton, Don's son, Nikki Stratton, Don's granddaughter, Stan Vanderwerth, Andy Vick, and our own was county administrator. I think this is his last day, Henry. Tomorrow's your last day, so, and Henry Yonkowski. So that's great. So, and this is a fun one. To all the audience who are currently serving in the military, who has ever served, please stand so we can all appropriately recognize you. So now the Boy Scouts are going to assist me. We're going to recognize our presenting sponsors. And step forward when I call your name, but we're going to have a nice shadow box as well for we're grateful to our exhibit presenting sponsors, the companies which donated more than $10,000 each toward the design and construction of this exhibit we are commissioning today, without whom none of this would be possible. Each presenting sponsor receiving a special remembrance of today's exhibit, commission a shadow box that equal to the George family received, also containing a class file of fragments of the U.S.S. Arizona, gifted to us by the U.S. Navy, and accompanied by a certificate of authenticity and a letter of description from the United States Navy. So will each sponsor, as I call your name, come on up, and then Stan, will you help me with the Boy Scouts? Louisa Graff, represented by Louisa Graff herself. Int Credit Union, Richard Scholes, and G.E. Johnson, represented by Peter Spicer. And also Morgan Solutions, represented by Roy Clinton. Come on up. Great. Thank you again, guys. And company, the Norwood Foundation, was unable to be with us this afternoon, and Chris Jenkins would have been the representative there, but we'll make sure that the Norwood Foundation and Chris do receive the same shadow box. And thank you again, presenting sponsors, for stepping up, as you do multiple times throughout the community. This is just one thing you guys do, and you guys are doing it 365 days a year, so we can't say enough from the community saying, again, thank you, and for your ongoing support. With that, ladies and gentlemen, El Paso County Commissioner Stan Vanderwerth.
Thank you very much, everybody. Wow, what a great afternoon. And this has been quite a story and quite a trip with the Stratton family. I tell you, I'm just very proud to be part of this. And I'm Stan Vanderwerf, El Paso County Commissioner, also a military veteran and Vice Chairman of the Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee. Today is another great day to honor Mr. Don Stratton, his wife, his family, our local hometown heroes, and the men and women who have served our nation in the armed forces, and especially to honor those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of our nation. Our path to this museum exhibit commissioning has been an incredible story. It started with a knock on a door, then the naming of 8 June as El Paso County Don Stratton Day, then the receipt of this amazing U.S.S. Arizona artifact from the U.S. Navy, and we received that in March of 2018. The creation of the Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee, the proclamation and voting in the State House on January of 2018 to name the Fillmore Bridge after Don Stratton, and the dedication of that bridge on 8 June 2018, and then now today, the culmination of what this community does when it's determined to achieve a goal and honor its local hometown heroes. And to that goal, to honor those heroes, to honor our veterans in active duty and their families, and to honor those in the greatest generation who served selflessly to protect our country and the world from tyranny. We are lucky that Don Stratton survived the attack at Pearl Harbor on the U.S.S. Arizona, so that all of us today can meet a man, stare him in the eye, marvel at his service, and thank him for his sacrifice. Today, we dedicate this exhibit and place it at the Colorado Springs Airport so that millions of travelers can take a look, view the history and the heroes, and remember that never have so many owed so much to those who have defended our nation. I think it's fitting that this exhibit has placed upon it the stories of the crewmates of Don Stratton from the U.S.S. Arizona. The artifact itself has visible evidence of the explosion that broke the Arizona, as well as visible evidence of a welding cutter's effort to clear the superstructure and prepare America for war on that fateful day. Immediately after the attack, we, the average American citizen, went to work to save the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do in our country every day, and this is what we do in this community. Average Americans every day going to work, raising families, and engaging in an amazing effort to defend our nation, which is so special, and to defend our values and our Constitution, which is designed to ensure that people and markets will be free. At this time, I would like to personally thank each and every member of the Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee in their efforts and their dedication in this cause to honor Don Stratton. In their eyes, I see the incredible skills and passions of the everyday American who believes in this nation and what we represent to the world. I would also like to thank the county, the other commissioners, and Henry Yankowski personally, who is a history buff himself, for the support that the county has given in allowing us to go forward with this exhibit. The county has contributed in assistance and help and fiscally to make this a reality for our community. And I would also like to thank a member of our Heroes Legacy Committee, Bill Lynn, who is here, and he is a museum curator. We brought him onto the committee, and he has done an amazing, outstanding job to help deliver this high-quality exhibit, which includes content from major museums around the country, including the Smithsonian and other locations. He's done a fantastic job, and my personal thanks to him. I would also like to thank all of the sponsors, many of whom are here present today, for their selfless donations to help make this exhibit possible. And to all our great community leaders who are here today as well. And I would also like to thank the airport and the city of Colorado Springs for providing a home for the exhibit so that millions of Americans can learn about such an important part of our history. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to live in a community that honors the achievements of our local hometown heroes. We do this over and over again in small and big ways, and it's just a piece of the amazing fabric that we have where we live. I'm just very honored to be a part of that. And finally, Don, sir, it has been my honor to meet you and help lead a community effort to honor you, your shipmates, and every American veteran across the nation. And to Velma, thank you also. And I just think this is great. One day after the 69th wedding anniversary, that is fantastic. So everybody, God bless you. God bless El Paso County. God bless the city of Colorado Springs. God bless America. Thank you very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, Greg Phillips, our Executive Director at Colorado Springs Airport. Greg?
I'll be quick. I'm so proud to welcome you all to the recently remodeled Colorado Springs Airport. It's one heck of an honor and a privilege for us to be able to host this spectacular display honoring Don Stratton for his gallantry, for your heroism, and to help us all remember the event that precipitated this. For the next 2 years, this display will be here in the Colorado Springs Airport, where the 1.7 million annual passengers that travel through our airport will have the opportunity to see it. It is our incredible honor to be able to support this, to have this displayed, and thank you so much, Don. So, after 2 years, the display will move to another public venue that will be announced at some point in the future. But again, it's our incredible honor. Thank you all, and remember, fly COS. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our great Mayor, John Suthers.
Thank you all for being here this afternoon. Your presence is really a testament to how our community feels about its heroes and its relationship to the United States military. It's a pleasure for Janet and I to be here today to see the opening of this great exhibit honoring a very deserving hero. I'm so pleased that over 1 million people who travel through this airport each year will be able to learn Don Stratton's incredible and inspirational story. In this city, we're so very fortunate to have many men and women who valiantly serve our nation and 5 very critical military installations. And to have Don Stratton, who fought for his country, sustained injuries, survived, and returned to the fight, is a true honor. Thank you, Don, for your service, and Velma for your support of Don. Thank you. And I can't think of a more fitting initial location for this educational and inspirational exhibit than here at our airport that regularly, and I mean every single day, welcomes soldiers, our military officers, contractors, and government leaders to Colorado Springs. And for the next 2 years, the public will be able to experience this interactive exhibit here in a secure setting when flying into and out of our airport. And as Greg indicated, following 2 years, the exhibit will move to a public location here in Colorado Springs. I also would like to thank the Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee, an all-volunteer group of passionate community leaders, and all the exhibit donors for making this exhibit a reality. And once again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out to celebrate with us today this great occasion.
And ladies and gentlemen, Vice Admiral Tom Moore. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is flew in from Washington, D.C. this morning, and it is always a wonderful day to get outside of Washington, D.C. And it's even better to be in beautiful Colorado Springs, so I thank you for the invite. Senator Gardner, Mayor Suthers, distinguished guests, and of course to our honored guest, Don and Velma Stratton, on behalf of the Chief of Naval Operations and the Secretary of the Navy, I'd like to thank you for inviting me here today to dedicate this wonderful exhibit She's absolutely welcome to be part of the ceremony. To dedicate this wonderful exhibit to Gunner's Mate Second Class Don Stratton. Now, I know it's been mentioned before, and I know we already gave a round of applause for it, but I got to tell you, when you've been married for 69 years, it deserves a second round of applause. How about that? I also want to thank the committee for putting this exhibit here in Colorado Springs, because it's going to give me yet another reason to visit beautiful Colorado Springs besides the picturesque mountains, the great hiking, the great skiing, and of course watching Navy beat Air Force in football. I'd also like to publicly thank Bob Lally and the Pike Peak Heroes Legacy Committee and all their sponsors for helping to make this possible. You don't get events like this without really a lot of hard work in advance, so how about a round of applause for them as well. Now, you've heard the story, and Don's story is certainly absolutely incredible. One of 5 remaining sailors who survived the destruction aboard the U.S.S. Arizona that took the lives, think about this, 1,177 of our sailors. Undeterred by this, Don continued to serve his country despite being gravely wounded that day. And as I was flying out this morning and was preparing my thoughts on December 7th, 1941, the day that will live in infamy, I reflected on the destruction caused by the surprise attack, the near devastation of our fleet in the Pacific, and contemplated why we continue to remember and honor Pearl Harbor Day and people like Don Stratton. Well, we do it for a couple of reasons. We do it to remember people like Don and those who gave their lives in defense of our nation, but we also do it to remind ourselves that freedom is not free, and that we must never take for granted the freedom that we have here in this great nation. Freedoms we have because ordinary citizens like Don, when called upon, do extraordinary things and do extraordinary deeds. And rest assured, that tradition continues today. We have the greatest Navy in the world today because there's a generation of young men and women out there today who, like Don and the other veterans in this audience, have also raised their right hand and taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and wear the great cloth of this nation. And we should all be proud of the veterans we have here today and the people that are going to continue to serve, that we saw the young men and women today that we saw there in the Boy Scouts and NJROTC. I'm very thankful for them. The attack on Pearl Harbor was the most significant setback in our Navy's history, but it was also the beginning of our greatest hour. The United States Navy was wounded, but we were not defeated. Like Gunner's Mate Second Class Don Stratton, we healed and got back to work. Don also got back to work, later serving aboard U.S.S. Stack and taking part in an incredible 6 invasions during the course of World War II, which freed subjugated people and brought to an end a tyrannical regime. Don is the epitome of the greatest generation. He is both a survivor and a warrior. I commend everyone who brought this exhibit to life and applaud the choice of placing it in Colorado Springs Airport, where visitors can learn about the city's most heroic resident and place a face and story to the man who already has a bridge named after him on Interstate 25 at Fillmore Street, about 15 miles from here. If you haven't had a chance to get in and look at this exhibit, it's world class. I live in the Washington Navy Yard. We have the Navy Museum there. I get to see a lot of things related to Navy history, and it was just such a heart-wrenching and heartwarming to see this great tribute that you have to Don Stratton and all the veterans that served in World War II. So please, I hope you'll take some time to look at it. Finally, Don, it's an honor to be here with you today. Your life serves as an inspiration to all sailors around the world today. I salute you, sir. You helped chart our Navy's course, and we continue to build upon the legacy you helped build. And you may rest easy. We stand on the shoulders of giants like you, and we have the watch today. Don, to you and your wife, Thelma, and your wonderful family, thank you for all you have given to us over the years. And to the City of Colorado Springs and the Pikes Peak Legacy Committee, thank you for your vision and commitment in making this possible today. May God continue to bless Don and Thelma Stratton. May God bless Colorado Springs. May God bless our great United States Navy. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thanks, Admiral. Great words. And ladies and gentlemen, our Senator, Cory Gardner.
On August 15th, 1945, my grandfather wrote a letter from Soissons, France that started with this sentence. Last night at midnight, the rumors were confirmed. The war is over. There is peace at last, and I will be home with you soon. 4 years earlier, on December 7th, 1941, Donald Stratton, Joe George awoke to a glorious Honolulu morning. Hours later, neither would know whether they would be able to go home to their families. Today we celebrate in the Olympic City another hero. There is no greater gold amongst us than those who have served our country. Donald Stratton, it is an honor to be here with you today. I had the opportunity to visit with the George family, the Stratton family, because once December 7th, 1941 was over, Donald Stratton continued his fight to recover, his fight to continue, and later on to fight for recognition of the man who saved his life. The little girl who ran across the front of the stage is here because Joe George threw a lifeline to Donald Stratton. And we are here today to recognize that ever warrior, Donald Stratton. When I talked and heard the story, I sat and wondered if I could have done the same things that Mr. Stratton did. And I'll never forget when I said, I don't think I ever could have done what you did. And his response with a smile was, well, Corey, everybody's got to be somewhere. Joe George was there, and thank God he was. Donald Stratton, you were there, and thank God you were there. To the men and women who just stood up in recognition of your service to your country, our country, thank you for being there. Thank you for being here. And to the city of Colorado Springs, to the mayor, to the Pikes Peak Heroes Legacy Committee, to Admiral Moore, thank you for being a community that knows what our country is all about. This matters greatly. It's an honor to be here. Thank you to Colorado Springs. God bless you all. God bless this great United States of America.
So I'm going to bring up Mark Seglem here to talk a little bit on the emotional side of the exhibit. But while Mark's coming up, we're going to do a ribbon cutting to kind of, do the commissioning. So I'm going to pass some scissors out, and at the same time as Mark's talking, be careful, Mayor, sharp objects. We're going to have it come around here, and we're going to put some ribbon out. And as Mark's talking here, so go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Bob.
In radio, they call it dead time, so I'm dead time.
Could you help your dad? Randy, could you help your dad?
Ladies and gentlemen, while the official party gets in position, I'd just like to say a couple of words. And I guess they asked an crusty old sea captain to come up and finish this thing off, which is fairly typical of a Navy-type event. But I would like to say that for those of you that aren't aware, the Pearl Harbor Memorial in Pearl Harbor is perhaps the most sacred place in the United States Navy. And it's very tough to keep composure when you discuss Pearl Harbor, particularly the U.S.S. Arizona. But I would like to talk about 13 other people that I just spent 17 months with, putting together this incredible exhibit. And I would tell the county commissioner that he better be careful, because I think the Smithsonian and the Navy Museum in Washington may give us a call about this at some time in the future. But on this crowd, this group of people, these 14 people, we had Rangers who liked to jump out of airplanes, perfectly good airplanes. We had wild weasels and old crows. We had on the Navy side nukes, black shoes, brown shoes, all of those folks that were involved in this. And we had the city we had the state. Ronald Reagan used to talk about a shining city on the hill. George Herbert Walker Bush used to talk about 1,000 points of light. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all of that, and then some. Thank you.
Everybody got their scissors? All right, so, hey, on my count, we'll cut. How's it look, guys? Smile at the cameras. Okay, guys, smiling. Can we do two things at once there? Stand. All right. Gentlemen, please ladies and gentlemen, please cut the ribbon on my count. 3, 2, 1, cut.
Well, there goes my ribbon.
Let's go ahead and take photos, and as we're doing photos, we're kind of dropping off the formality, but I have a few more. I'd be remiss not to recognize a few other folks that are instrumental in making today's commissioning. All our speakers. Thank you, guys. Great job. Well done. Boy Scout Troop 777, man, these great partnership. High schools, Doherty, Mesa Ridge, Whitefield. Thank you, guys, for your side boys and colors. Second Lieutenant Jack Dooley, Cadet Commander, Eric Academy Cadet Squadron Civil Patrol. Where are you? There you are. Welcome, man. Colorado Springs Commerce, Dirk, thank you so for the support. Navy League, and numerous others who contributed on the way, all noted in the program. Thank you. And as everybody knows, these types of ceremonies don't just happen, so a huge shout out to who made this ceremony possible with Lisa Bachman and Mary Beth Burkin. And by the way, these are volunteers doing this. And I think that program in itself kind of speaks to the caliber of this event. That's a collectible, I think, in itself, that program that they put together. So thank you. Another big thank you to our sponsors and donors, and to Don Stratton. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand.